What's up, Valley? Natasha Castles live inside the Primavera Online High School Lounge with none other the legendary Steve Lobel. If you don't know his name, you got to Google him right now. You got some time. You're on the computer already, but we're going to get straight into it. I mean, your accolades, your time in this music thing. I don't want to say just hip hop, just music in general. It's been a long time coming now. From Jam Master Jay, now we got Nipsey Hussle, still working with Scott Storch, and so much that happened in between. I don't even know where to start. I guess let's see. What I just watched with you was Drink Champs. Shout out to Nori. You had Scott Storch on there. What's the climate like with Scott Storch these days?
Right, well, I'm going to say this real quick to your viewers and listeners. I know this young lady when she came to my office.
The office.
And she was
Very
filming.
nice office.
She was filming me for Bootleg Kev. And Bootleg Kev is a radio legend. I call him a radio legend. And the moral of the story is that her growth over the years since I saw her, now she's on the morning show and the afternoon show, and now she's doing this interview with me. It shows you in life, to all you young people, that you never know where you're going to wind up or who you will be and who you'll come across, and that it's not what you know, it's who you know. So always treat people the same, no matter who they are, because you'll never know where you wind up. And I just want to get off my chest.
I want to cry now.
No. So, Scott Storch, it's a legendary producer. If people don't know, probably, a lot of records sold, a lot of number ones. We were friends throughout my career. And I was doing interviews because I have a talk show called Live with Steve Lobel. And I went to interview Scott. And when I went to interview Scott, he was like, will you manage me? And this is after his downfall. Scott got on cocaine and he had $100 million and he lost everything. But in my mind, that doesn't mean nothing, because that means that what's in here, what's in here.
And the talent.
We all go through trials and tribulations, but
We're
once
human.
a name, always a threat. And once you have talent will never leave. So I just started managing about 2.5 years ago, and the first placement was Game and Jeremiah, All Eyes. And then the rest has been history. We got an A Boogie placement. We got Zach and Codeine on Post Malone album. We got a few on Russ's records, and Russ is huge right now. French Montana, Chris Brown, Trippie Redd. So many people have come through in the last 2 years. And it's just been an amazing journey. And, yeah, like you said, we did Drink Champ. Shout out my man Nori, Queens in the house. And we got a big Vivo piece coming out on Scott for his fans to really see, like a mini movie about who Scott Storch is, a 20-minute thing. And just being innovative and creative. He's about to put out Scott Storch records like Khaled does. He never did that before. And I told him he should do that. And then he has his own sounds coming out through Akai and then deal with Splice. And then he has his own, plug-in with Studio Link. So people who love Scott and are real producers can go and get all that type of stuff.
Very cool. Now, you spend a lot of time, obviously, managing other artists, and you're spending a lot of your days now working on yourself, which is dope because it's never too late to, work on yourself and just repurpose yourself. How do you feel about your show, Live with Steve Lobel?
I mean, I'm an innovative guy. I'm creative, and I feel like I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. And people out there should not be followers. Go with your gut. When we started working with Nipsey and put Nipsey on, everybody told me I was wasting my time. They told me, oh, he looks like Snoop Dogg. Oh, he's rolling 60 Crip. It's never going to work. Now everybody's a gang member. Everybody's got tattoos. And now Nipsey's one of the biggest artists that really built the brand. But again, I went with my gut. So my talk show, I did that years ago, my first sit-down interview. And I'm not a journalist. I'm not an interviewer. I'm behind the scenes. But someone gave me the confidence to say,
You've been observing this entire time, though.
Someone gave me the confidence, like, you know what, you should use all your relationships. And you know what, you could be like a Johnny Carson for the younger people, like a Jimmy Kimmel. And the first interview I sat down was with J. Cole. And people were like, how the fuck did that happen? He's a manager. But it's relationships. And I interviewed J. Cole, and I was like, this is cool. I did a deal with Complex.
And it's almost a different vibe, you interviewing these artists, because they have a certain level of comfort with you, and it doesn't feel
they can't act fake with me, and they can't lie and bullshit me. And I'm not talking about who you beefing with and who you sleeping with. I'm going straight into it about hip-hop and who you are and music and so on and so forth.
That's dope. Now, let's go back to Nipsey Hussle. I got you working with him. Were you working with him when he was doing the $100 mixtape, or was that something that he ventured out on his own?
Look, Nipsey's been in the making since about 2004.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's when I started working with Nipsey, and we were on the LAX tour with Game, and Kendrick Lamar was called K Dot, and he was the hype man for J Rock. And I've been working with Nipsey then, and then probably the last 5 years, Nipsey's been doing his own thing. But I will say this, he is the smartest artist I ever worked with.
Oh yeah, and he's so he spends a lot of time reading or whatnot. But I
Yeah.
was gonna say, did he consult with you at all about the $100 mixtape and then the $1,000?
He's a real businessman and a brand manager that we know, that was part of the team. I gave him a book, and Nipsey reads, and it came from a Philadelphia cheesesteak in Philadelphia.
Yes, I
gave
got
something
that book.
$100,
Oh,
yeah. So
I
that's where
forgot
we
what
got
it
the
was
idea
called.
from, and you know what? It's innovative. It's creative, doing something. That, see, Nipsey's type of dude. Everybody going left, he gonna go right. Everybody going right, gonna go left. Only thing that would ever change with Nipsey since I've known him is the size of his clothes. He always had the Malcolm piece and the chain and the watch. He just wore big T-shirts back then, and now he
it's
wears
fitted.
short.
Yeah.
It's fitted. So that was all that happened, Shout out my man Nipsey Hussle, man.
For yourself being around in the times when there's the West Coast versus East Coast hip hop beef and stuff. There's a lot of that stuff that's prevalent now, especially with like trolling being a popular thing in hip hop and whatnot. Do you see this playing out very well?
Well, I really felt that East Coast, West Coast beef to me wasn't a beef. What a real beef was, Fat Joe and 50 Cent. Because I know both of them, and that could have got ugly. There's a lot of beefs out here that is not real beef. It's just on wax or on Instagram right now. But
Okay.
I was around real beef. I know what real beef is. I managed Tupac's group, The Outlaws. Rest in peace to Pac, Gaddafi, and Fatal. That was more of a internal situation, and it turned out the media called it East Coast, West Coast beef, and we lost two great people. Big got, obviously killed because of some street stuff, and Pac got killed having an argument, but they didn't get killed over East Coast, West Coast beef, and it really fucked up the music industry because those guys had so much like more living to do and so much more talent to put out in music. Listen, the trolling and the clout chasing, I'm confident, I'm not cocky, that I'm a man. And if we in a cell right now as men, I got to be a man. So there's a lot of people out here that are not men. And I really blame the people around them or the OGs around them that are not letting them know what to do and what not to do. Because you have to have mentors. Russell Simmons is my mentor, right?
Like you got the wrong people rooting for you. And
Yeah, or you got the wrong circle around you.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in the rap business, there's a lot of yes men, and I call them dick riders, excuse my French.
I mean,
and they're
that's what
scared
it
to
is.
say the truth because they think they don't have a job no more. But, there was a time that artists would come and sit down with you and drive all the way here or take their time. Now it's like, let me get on my social media and do an interview and let it go viral. Or let me talk this dumb shit. And I feel like the young generation, they don't really know about our culture. And they don't really know about hip-hop. Everybody's yelling gang, gang. And they don't really know what that means. Or they're saying we're doing this for the culture. Do you really know the culture? You're a white person. You like rap, but do you know the Beastie Boys or Third Base? Are you from the Midwest, but you don't know the Dayton family or Proof from D12, rest in peace, or MC Breed, rest in peace? Do you really know who's who in this game? Like, you don't need to know me, but you should know me. I'm the coach. The coach lasts longer than the player. I'm the plug. I'm the connect. I'm the one who's going to help you with your career. But these younger generations, they don't understand it. They think it's just like, okay, fuck you. Suck my you-know-what.
There's no respect for what the
No
base
respect for the
was
business
that.
and the culture. And I'm not bitter because I'm a dinosaur, but on fossil fuel because I changed with the times. But I don't condone sucker shit. Again, we got people in heaven, big, Jam Master Jay, who started me in the game. Shout out Run DMC. Eazy-E, rest in peace, who I worked with, who introduced me to Bone Thugs and still with Bone Thugs over 20 years. That's loyalty and integrity, which no one knows about. You got people, Big Pun up there, who I worked with. He used to drive around the country with Fat Joe as his hype man, that are rolling in their graves saying, wow, the music industry is the Wild Wild West now. The music industry's whatever. The little Tay shit. You're an idiot to follow that. The white girl says something about Snoop Dogg. You're a moron.
You're
who
condoning
condones
it by hitting that
Well,
follow button
like
or
I said,
liking.
I don't condone sucker shit. I'm looking at the camera. Whoever condones sucker shit and any media, radio station, outlet that is promoting that to help something that's so dumb and you say you're hip-hop, you're a sucker too because you should be promoting good music and great music, not someone who's living for the moment on Instagram cursing and screaming and yelling. And TMZ, I'm going to come holler at you in a second about that.
Viral for the sake of
Viral
being
for the
topical.
Yeah,
and
to be famous. Everyone wants to be famous, but guess what? We're all famous. We're all celebrities. Because if I go like this right now, it's red, blood. We're going in a grave unless you're getting cremated. We're all the same. Everything goes up, must come down. Remain humble. Ask Scott Storch. He was at the top, lost it all. Ask Mike Tyson. Everything goes up, must come down. You're not hot all the time. So don't be cocky. Be humble. And that's what I always tell people. My career has been on cruise control, and I've been treated with respect because I give respect. Disrespect me, I'll smack you in the mouth. Or you're going to deal with some people I know. But I have to be a man at the end of the day. No, I'm from Queens. I don't forget where I come from. I got to be a man. You can't let someone disrespect you because you're on the radio and you want to interview them, but they're disrespecting you and your family. You're going to bow down because your boss says we got to do an interview with them. Then your boss is not right because there's got to be some type of integrity. We can't just, be disrespected because that person at the moment's hot and we need to interview. No, that's not wrong.
With all that being said, hip-hop don't know you.
Exactly.
There it is. Well, you just threw me all the gems right there. You talked about working with Tupac and the Outlaws. Tomorrow is Tupac's birthday. Can you give me a heartfelt Tupac memory, or just what it was like for you working with the Outlaws?
Look, Outlaws are amazing people. One of the realest groups I ever worked with. They just come from that. They're from Jersey, a lot of them. And the memory of Pac is when he did Thug Love with Bone Thugs. Being at the MTV Awards, Pac was there in his suit with Snoop, and we came with Bone, and we came out with the Horse and Carriages, do Crossroads. Pac just passed away ahead of his time, and happy birthday, Pac.
Every year, my roommate and I actually have a Tupac party. It's just, my old roommate, we just get together as the two of us, and we play Tupac movies and drink some Hennessy, smoke some blunts, and just have a good time, just me and her. Is there any essentials that we need for this Tupac party of celebration?
And all the dudes who talk about Tupac, you're a bunch of characters.
Right? I don't understand it. I'm like, why
what you need is maybe a death row chain.
Okay. Where does one get one of those?
I don't know. Maybe we can go to the local jewelry store and get one done.
Okay.
It won't be the 14 karat, but
it'll be fine. My neck will be green. It's okay though.
Maybe a Versace shirt.
Okay.
Pac was wearing Versace way before all these guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think some Hennessy, maybe a blunt, maybe a cigarette too, because he smoked cigarettes.
Okay. So
and
Newports.
And a Versace, and then also we'll celebrate. Not that's his death, it's his birthday, but Fatal Hussein and Gaddafi.
There we go.
Yeah.
Something I've been thinking about a lot, especially with like streaming services lately. I just want to know what your thoughts are on this. We have Kanye West released his album with 7 songs. Pusha T with 7 songs. Not like this is the trend right now with streaming services, and I almost feel like they're cheating the system to get those streaming numbers. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, shout out Nas. See Nas in my shirt?
Dropping the album today.
See Nas?
Nasir.
Where you see Nas at? Nas right here is a baby.
Right there.
Nas, Fat Joe, Common, DJ LES, and
that you right there?
That's me right there.
Look at you.
So I took all my old pictures and threw it on the shirt. It's called the Industry Connect, and I have like the Bone and Biggies.
That's right.
And I created a merchandise line with all my old school pictures, like me and Pun and Cameron, me, Bone and Biggie, so on and so forth.
That's dope.
Shout out Nas, got his album just dropped. Pusha T's album came out. Kanye's working, or he put his out, or whatever the case may be. I mean, again, I told you earlier, I was a dinosaur, but on fossil fuel. So every 4 or 5 years is a change in the game. It might be a new basketball player, might be a new rapper, it might be a new model.
Yeah, we're getting
actress,
less songs on
right?
albums.
Because I come from a world of cassettes. And we used to give cassettes out, samplers for free, or cassette singles for free. Then we come into, we have vinyl. Now vinyl's coming back. And real DJs back then and would walk around with crates, and we hurt our backs and DJ.
That's what you're doing with Jam Master Jay.
Yeah, back in the days. Now, guys come pull up with a little mini disc and make $1 million. I'm like, whoa. But you know what? Kid Capri, Chuck Chill Out, Flex, those are DJs to me. But salute the DJs, respect the DJs, and Jam Master Jay, rest in peace. But then we went into CDs. So say you sold 1 million CDs. That's $10 million. If you sold 1 million singles, that was $1 million. And then you have to take off, distribution fees and manufacturing fees. That's the other side of the music business. Because I'm not in the music industry. I'm in the music business. And we're going to go back to that point. If you're in the music business and you're a producer and you don't know about ASCAP or BMI or CSAC or splits or publishing, you're not in the music business. You're in the music industry, which is 90% fake. If you're an artist and you don't know about ancillary rights and touring and merchandise and publishing splits and royalties for yourself, and you're an artist, you don't know the music business. Then you're just doing it for what? First, let's start off with the business. We're in the music business. And to all you future managers and everybody out there, I'm going to drop some gems. The keys to success, and I know Cal since 95, so I don't want to just take his line. Cal's my brother. He worked hard as hell to where you got. First thing is organization. You got to be organized. If we're not organized in business and in life, communication. If we don't communicate, I wouldn't be here sitting with you. I'm the worst at communication in my personal life, but in business, I'm over-communicate. Never take no for an answer. Slip says, yo, we're going to the radio station, but they changed their mind not doing it. Hold on, I got to holler at them. Like, I'm not taking no for an answer. We set this up, I'm coming in the station. So never take no for an answer. Common sense, which is not common.
Unfortunately.
It's a big thing. And then follow up is the most important thing in our music business. Because we have to follow up. We meet people. We set things up. We got to follow up to make sure people get on time. They remember, put it on their calendar, schedule. Then I try to tell artists less is more.
What does that mean?
Meaning, like, you can go to one party and cover so much bases, then go to 5 parties. So less is more.
So don't think about the money bag behind it.
But then it's quality over quantity.
Yes.
Quality over quantity goes back to the same thing. We're going to go to one quality place instead of 6 other places, and it's just buffoonery or wasting my time, not going to build my relationships. Or
it waters down the brand.
Exactly. And then money comes and goes, but history stays. As long as we keep making history, we're going to always make money. We're not doing this for the money. I already know that. We're doing this for the passion. Rolex don't make me. Mercedes don't make me. Money don't make me. What makes me is this and this. You understand what I'm saying? Knowledge and experience and, building accolades and success and, awards and a resume. That's what people work hard to build and keep a legacy going. I'm writing a book called The Coach Lasts Longer Than the Player because I feel like I'm a coach. People call me for advice. I mentor people. I have a consulting business, Steve Lobel Consulting. So that's that. But going back to the streaming thing is we have to change through the times. And that's why Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine were smart. And that's why Tidal was smart. And Spotify came. I have a company right now called TrackLib with Tommy Silverman from Tommy Boy Records. It's a legendary label. We created the first online record store that if you're a young producer or a producer, you go in and sample for like $20.
Very cool.
And a lot of people are sampling. So we're being innovative and changing the game. So now we're in a streaming service. So you don't want to put 14 songs up like back in the days. I really love the days of, and these young kids don't even know about it. You open the album.
Yeah,
see
we're
the
flipping through the
pictures,
books.
The credits, the A&R, the engineer. Everybody got the
Yeah.
credit. I told Scott the other day, I said, Scott, you should listen to me. You should listen to me, Scott. You should have put Murder on the Beat Does, Scott Storch on your songs because Zach and Cody don't post more. No one knows you did it. We're not back in the days when people open the album. So we're in a streaming world. If you can't change with the times, go get another job. So the streaming thing is you'll give them 7, 6, 8 songs. Every million stream is $4,000. Every million records was $10 million. So the things change, but the younger generation doesn't know that if they're in the business. But it makes your fans want more. So you take the 14, you divide it, and you put out 7.
With a person like yourself that obviously has coached many people and even people outside of your management, I guess, eyes or vision, who's the last person that's called you for some advice?
No, I'm a humble guy. A lot of people reach out. Unfortunately,
Have you ever been surprised by a phone call? Like,
yeah,
what do you need help with? What?
Look, I could be doing way more. I could managing some of your favorite artists, but they have no life. The music industry is you have no life. So it's either you're this or you're that, and you have to have balance. I never had balance. That's why I'm single. Well, I'm not single, but I'm not married and I have no children because I didn't want to have children not be there as a father. I hate seeing boys or men have children and then they're not there to raise them.
They're still very busy.
So I don't, but you need to have balance. I didn't have balance. I was too busy chasing the grind and traveling the world and making money, being in the studios. So it was a gift and a curse. And the music industry is a hard, hard job. And I didn't have balance. I just realized now I need to have balance. And what makes me happy is going to sports games and living my life. Because if I die tomorrow, I'm going to get saluted on Instagram. And another thing is we should salute people while they're alive. When I run into radio reps and people in the industry I know for a long time, I say, I love you, what you did for the culture. But we wind up saluting them when they pass away. Tell people you love them when you're alive. Don't salute me when I'm dead because life's going to go on and I'm going to be a memory. So I'm going to live my life the best I can be now. And I realized that 6 years ago my mother passed away. I said, damn. I got to worry about myself too. So now I'm selfish to everybody else but myself. I used to be selfish to myself. And now as I'm getting older, I'm 52, I look 38, thank you. I gotta take care of my health. I gotta take care of myself.
What's your skincare routine?
I drink a lot of water and I exercise and do hiking. But I've been on Millionaire Matchmaker. I've been on reality shows. I've been on a lot of different stuff. I've been on a lot of stuff. But look, T.I.'s a dear friend. He reached out to me. Buster reaches out. A lot of people reach out for advice or consultation or just friendly talk, because sometimes a lot of people don't know how to change with the times.
Is there a point where it starts costing them some money though?
No, those type of guys. No, because it's one hand wash, the other two hand wash the face. It's relationships, it's friendships.
Okay.
Sometimes some people reach out like, oh, you manage me. Like Keith Murray just hit me, the legend. I love Keith Murray. But I have to think back in my mind, how can I help him before I really get involved with that? Because that's a lot of time consuming. And I think that a lot of people saw what I did with Scott. So they think, oh, so he could bring someone back like that who's a legend. Maybe he could do that for me or us. But you have to be able to listen. You can't be stubborn. And you have to be able to open your mind to not the past no more, the present. I argued with Scott for a fucking year. Every time I bring people, I brought A Boogie. Who's that? Don't worry, PNB Rock. He's like, I brought them way before they blew up. And he's like, how do you know this after the fact? Keep my ear to the street, keep young people around me. And then we're the first working with A Boogie and PNB Rock's like, damn, who was the genius there? We were. Not me. There's no I in team. Together, everybody achieves more. That's what team means. So, and then it's like, damn, how's Scott working with all these people? You get what I'm saying? So you have to, and half the times he didn't know who they were. And I was like, don't worry about this. Trust in me. And he trusted me because you can't keep up with all this shit. There's so much going on.
There's so much music going on.
There's so much going on.
Speak on that, working with younger or keeping younger generations around you, because there's a lot of time, especially like if you have someone that grew up or came up when hip hop was still a new thing, look back at our generation now and they're just like, man, it's trash. Everything's trash right now. There's nothing like the classic hip hop, which there isn't.
Right.
But how do you adapt?
But look, but my consulting business, I will charge independent artists to help them, because what happens is there's a lot of athletes out there. There's a lot of wealthy people. There's a lot of street people. They don't know the business, so they wind up losing their money. So I help them and do that. Look, there's some great hip hop still. J. Cole, I watched his grind.
There is. I get mad. Like there's still.
I watched J. Cole's grind.
Kendrick is amazing.
Yeah, Kendrick.
J.
I watched his
going
grind.
On tour, like
but those
Nipsey's
guys
dope.
been in the game about 10 years now.
Long
Let me tell you
time.
something. And I keep hitting my nose. I don't do coke. I never drank. I don't smoke. None of that stuff. I just get a little nervous when I'm around beautiful women and I itch my nose. But now I got another woman. But look, Young Thug is dope.
He doesn't get enough credit, which is
He
he's
doesn't
on
get
tour
enough
with J.
credit.
Cole.
He's dope, and people be like, huh?
They don't look past the dresses and the
Look, but that's an opinion. You might not like my sneakers. I might like yours. It's an opinion.
Yeah.
Right now, it's a free-for-all. You wear what you want. You do what you want. I know years ago, people probably would have beat the shit out of some of the artists that look crazy right now from where they're from. Like, nah, that ain't happening. We're not letting that go down. But now it's a free-for-all. Everybody's getting tattoos, and I got guys in life doing life in jail. Shout out my man Keita Rock right now from Rolling 60s out here in Arizona doing life, tied up on his face, a crip with death row on his face. He's worked for Suge. And, shout out Suge. But, it's a free-for-all. The music industry, the people running the steer of it, it's money. They don't care if these people crash and burn. I used to work at labels. I left the labels to go protect the artists and work with the artists because I didn't like to see what that was going on. A lot of these people labels, they can't be out here independently. They would kill themselves without a steady check, without health insurance and an expense account that gets charged back to the artist that the artists don't know about. So, teach his own. The younger kids might not know who's dope and who's not dope when they're rapping because they might have never heard Tupac or Biggie or Eric B. and Rakim or Run DMC or LL Cool J, but they might have not. So the younger generation like, oh, this is amazing. This is, oh, my God. But they don't know better. So you don't like that one? Turn the station. You don't like that one? Turn to YouTube. You don't like that? Shut the Instagram. You don't like that? Don't follow that one. So you pick and choose who you like. We're not the judge. Only God could judge. We can't judge what's hot. You couldn't, and no one around us could tell us that Cardi B was going to be as big as she was.
I mean, I knew. I was a fan of her mixtapes. I really was. I followed her on Instagram.
I'll give you that.
I followed her, and
I'll give you
especially
that. But
as
no
a
one knew
girl.
it's going to be this big.
You're right.
But,
like
that's why I say
did.
it's a free-for-all. You never know what's going to pop right now. And program directors of radio stations, they might get music sent to them like, I love it. But then the shit don't work. You're like, what happened here? The fans don't want that. because they're worried about the internet and the tactics and the cloud chasing. Then program directors might say, I don't really like this. And then the shit blows up. You're like, what? You never know no more. And I'm being the first one to tell you, we don't know no more. We think we know, but we really don't, because everything and anything is working these days.
You've dropped so many gems, and I know we could go on forever.
Ever.
Thank you so much for stopping by inside of the Primavera Online High School Lounge. I appreciate you. And hey, let's keep this relationship going.
Of course. Everything's about relationships.
Can I give you a call too?
Yes,
Like, hey,
yes.
I need some advice.
$5.
I'm trying to put these records outside. I'm just kidding.
No, shout out 101.5 live in Phoenix for having me. It's great to see you. Shout out my man Slippy for putting this together. And everyone want to follow me. I'm not 10 million followers. I only want people who want to follow me for organically, because they want to follow me because it's organic. When you build relationships, it has to be organic, just so you know, not forced. We ever been in the club and everybody's like, yo, I need my shit played or check my shit out. I'm like, hold on. First of all, approach me different.
Or try
Let's
to pay you
build
to
a
play.
relationship organically. All my relationships are organically, right? That's that. But we working on IG. Twitter, Steve Lobel. You can Google me. I put a lot of work into this culture.
And where can we
game.
find these T-shirts, this
Industry
clothing line?
Connect on Instagram.
Okay, I need that.
And we got so many throwback pictures that I was blessed to, find and have with a lot of legendary people. And we're just trying to keep the culture alive, man. And God is great.